Hello, dear friends. I'm Roland Gunther, and I'm homeopath in Royston on Vancouver Island, and today I want to introduce you to one of the locals, the river, the Puntledge River. He's a special friend of mine. When you've been sitting by a river, you know rivers always have a special. One river is different from another one. They have their own character. They have their own story. And they tell us a story. So I invite you just to be with me, to spend a little time here with this river. This river has its story, like it comes from the mountains here, from the glacier. When it flows down from the glacier to Comox Glacier to Comox Lake, it's called Cruikshank River. There in the lake it meets with all kinds of other rivers or streams and creeks. The lake is dammed, and from the dam down here, it's called Puntledge River, flows here through Courtenay and into the ocean, into the Strait of Georgia. So that's a history just where the water comes from. But it also has a history of in itself, a history like that's interwoven with the people living here. Right now there's the whole city of Courtenay next to this river. But there have been living people here for thousands and thousands of years. And I'm very happy that this river carries the name of these people. The people is the Puntledge people that have been living here before. And some are still living here, and some other nations, indigenous peoples, moved in here after the Puntledge people have been severely decimated by war and especially by the smallpox. So this river also holds the history of these cultures and of the people that have been living here. And maybe just stay with me a little bit here and have a look at this river. And when you spend some time with the river, in the beginning you see one wave and the water flowing down. And when you slow down and stay there a little bit longer, you also can feel that there's a continuity in this flow. And when we stay longer, then we can really sense that this flow is not only happening in the outside, but it's also happening on the inside. Spending time with the river can be very healing. And when we allow this river to flow in us and to touch the inner river of life in us, to touch the inner flow of the energies in us, then in places where we feel stuck, can start to move again. At some point, the river here on the outside flows on the inside. And when I say this river flows in my veins, this is not just flowery speech and metaphor. It's very real. You know, the whole water of this community comes from this river, further up. So whenever people here open their tap, it's this river that flows there. Whatever we drink during the day after day, year after year, people that are living here, it's the water of this river flowing in our veins. It's literal. So there's a relation. It's almost at least as strong as being blood related, because this river flows in my blood. This river is my blood. And because we are so closely related, and when we feel that relationship, that this river is not just out there, it flows in my body and it also flows in my soul. When we become aware of that, then we just can feel really close to the river. And there's an intimacy that connects us, a closeness that can be quite amazing. And so whatever happens to this river, like what is being built here when it's dammed or so, it's not just happening to this river. Have you ever thought about how that is when you drink your water from a river that is dammed day after day? And you know, water keeps the message, water keeps the energy where it comes from. Water holds the energy, water holds the story where it comes from. What does it do to me when the river is being dammed? When I have the feeling in my life, the energy of my life cannot flow freely, when I have the impression that my gifts, who I am, I cannot give myself fully and uninhibited without holding back into the world, maybe there's a part of this river that also cannot flow like that anymore. And especially when we do this with many rivers, what does it do to the flow of life in us? What does it do to the energies in us? It has to be reflected in us, because these rivers are us. We drink their waters. We incorporate their energy in us. So of course it has an effect. If we yearn for freedom, we also have to think of the freedom of the river. Without the river flowing free, we cannot flow freely. This time I really would like to encourage you, maybe find a river, find a creek or lake, something in your area, preferably where your water comes from, and sit with the river. Listen to the river, listen to the stories of the river. Spend time with the river, like you spend time with a relative and a close friend. And just sit with it and allow the river to touch you. We have globally facing huge changes and challenges. And honestly, I think the closer we can become related to our environment again, the closer we can feel a part of it again. That it's not something happening out there, but something that's really happening also in us, or at least it's affecting us. The more we have a chance really to walk through these challenging times together and find a good solution, that we don't know how it's going to look like, but it has to come from being related, or feeling close to each other. And please, if you watch this little video right to the end right now, and I'm almost done, yeah, I also would like to ask you, maybe forward it. I would love to see many people going out and sitting with the rivers and sitting with the creeks and establishing again a closeness, a relatedness, a friendship with these bodies of water. And at the same time, it's a friendship with us ourselves, with the flow in us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time to sit here by the river with me and feel into the closeness of friendship with nature and today with the river. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye.